Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about IBS, symptoms, causes and its link to mental health and sexual health. Just to let you all know, I myself am a sufferer of IBS, have been for about 11 years now, and I've been wanting to do a video on IBS. With me suffering from it myself, I wanted to discuss from experience the different symptoms and what it can cause and whatnot, and hopefully other people can sort of resonate with this, and hopefully the video will be good for people who suffer from it and for people who don't, for them to understand what people with IBS, which is Irritable Bowel Syndrome, go through, and what people with bowel syndromes or the bowel diseases which have similar symptoms to IBS go through. So just to start off with, IBS is Irritable Bowel Syndrome. It affects up to 1 in 7 people worldwide, yet it's one of the most misunderstood digestive conditions. It can cause abdominal pain, unpredictable bowel habits, bloating, anxiety, and even affect sexual health. So today, just going to try and break down what IBS is, why it happens, and how it can just impact more than just your stomach. A lot of people, when they hear about people with a bowel syndrome or disease or whatever, a lot of people don't understand how it's not just affecting their bowel, it's other things it's affecting as well. And it's more than just, oh, he's got a bad stomach, or she's got a bad stomach. So to start off with, it's a chronic disorder that affects how the large intestine works. It doesn't cause visible inflammation or permanent damage, unlike ulcerative colitis, and I think it's pronounced Crohn's or Crohn's, I'm not sure. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong there. But yeah, it's considered a functional gastrointestinal disorder, meaning something in the way that gut functions is off. So basically, your gut becomes more sensitive, more reactive. The food moves too quickly or too slowly. So that's what IBS is. And then moving on, we've got different types of IBS. So you got IBS-D, which is more to do with diarrhea predominantly, and then you got IBS-C, predominantly to do with constipation. You got IBS-M, which is mixed, where both you got constipation and diarrhea, and then you got IBS-U, which is unclassified. So there's different types. So when someone says they've got IBS, there isn't just one sort of, well, they've got IBS. There's different types, and they all have their challenges, and they all include pain and discomfort. Moving on to the symptoms. Symptoms can again vary from person to person, but the most common ones you can get is abdominal pain or cramping, bloating and gas. You've got diarrhea, constipation, or mix of both. A sense of urgency, so wanting to uh, like go to the toilet all the time, or when you do, you really need to go. You feel like your bowel movements are incomplete, and then certain symptoms can be triggered by stress, anxiety, or even certain foods. So I find with myself, um, things like chili or lamb, um, and mincemeat on a personal level, these things cause a lot of problems. And of course, junk food in general, which I'm sure a lot of IBS sufferers find it hard to sort of let go of a lot of foods they might enjoy. Obviously, junk food is not good for you, but now and again, people do like having the odd, takeaway or crisps and chocolates and fizzy, which can cause a lot of problems with people who have IBS. Um, Moving on, what causes IBS? So the exact cause of IBS is still being studied, but scientists believe it's linked to a mix of factors including abnormal gut motility, oversensitive nerves in the gut, changes in gut bacteria, food intolerances, stress and emotional regulation, and in some cases a previous stomach infection, among many other causes. This is what I'm reading out is just a few things. Um, so these are the types of IBS, the symptoms, and the causes. I want to talk a little bit about the brain-gut connection. The gut and brain constantly talk to each other through nerves, hormones, and even gut bacteria. This means when a person's stressed, your gut reacts. When your gut is irritated, your brain reacts. Um, when you have IBS, the communication between these becomes hypersensitive, so a normal level of gas or even mild bloating can produce significant discomfort or pain for people with IBS. So if you're stressed out or anxious about something, worried, or gone through a period of trauma and um, things like that, it can trigger flare-ups, which are not nice. I've experienced them, so from experience, yeah, they're not nice. So anybody who's had them, I can resonate and sympathise. And then you've got IBS and mental health. So with IBS, it's got a strong connection with mental health, and people with IBS have higher rates of anxiety, depression, panic attacks, and even PTSD. And I'll even add on OCD to that. Um, and these conditions don't cause IBS, but because the brain and gut are linked and influence one another, people with IBS are more prone to have these sort of things. Um, because obviously IBS is very unpredictable, and people with IBS have to sort of organize and plan their day, and it's very difficult when the symptoms are unpredictable, which creates a lot of worry and anxiety and stress. Um, and especially going out and traveling and, you know, socializing, these things become anxious for people, which triggers symptoms uh, like flare ups even more. Um, so, yeah, so that's the link with mental health. Um, and then you've got some people as well. I'll be doing a bit of research because obviously I've got IBS, but not everybody suffers the same. So some people might suffer, just might have the symptoms, might not have mental health issues in that sense. They might be just been suffering with the symptoms and sort of going through the motions and dealing with it. Other people will get mental health issues, i.e., um, depression and anxiety, OCD. Other people, it can affect their sexual health as well. Um, by this, it means that it doesn't damage the sexual organs, but the pain and bloating and the constant worry and everything can affect a person's sexual desire, anxiety about gas or going to the toilet or flare-ups can make intimacy stressful. Uh, Body image issues um, stemming from that bloating and other things can lower confidence, and fatigue as well. These are things that can affect a person's sexual health as well. Um, Other ways it affects life is that a lot of people have the fear of leaving the house. If I leave, or if I need to go to the toilet, there's so many things that they have to think about. Or if I'm traveling near, will there be a way to stop on the way? Or if I need the toilet whilst I'm driving, or whilst I'm traveling, walking, or wherever you're going. So leaving the house, traveling, going to work, it causes a lot of problems. People have trouble sleeping because they constantly need to go to the toilet. So if you're going to sleep and then after an hour or two you're having to wake up to go to the toilet and you're in there quite a while and then you come back out, you go asleep for another hour or two, then you're back in there again, and it's not easy to go back asleep after you've used the toilet for that long. And some people just can't. Once they've woke up, they struggle to go back to sleep. And then people fear eating food or certain types of food, or they just restrict their eating. It can exhaust a person, and you're constantly having to sort of plan around bathroom access, and it makes things difficult for people, especially if they want to like travel, you know, um, and just day-to-day activities become very difficult for a person with IBS or even other bowel issues. Um, and I want to say that it's not just a stomach issue. It's a condition that affects everything. You know, mental health, sexual health, people's day-to-day life and planning and organization and confidence, and lifestyle and routines. It affects everything. It's not easy to deal with. In terms of treatment and management, now from experience, there's things on here which they talk about. They say there's no cure, which I don't agree with. There's always a cure for every illness. I believe in that. But on here mentions diet, so avoiding trigger foods, adding more fiber to your diet, staying hydrated, low FODMAP. Talks about lifestyle, so trying to reduce stress, exercise, have good sleep, which again people will think, well, my IBS is causing me to have more stress. It's causing me not to be able to sleep. So how can I be able to do that? So that's all the questions which arise from which a lot of people would think, well, I know that, I know stress causes more problems, so how do I, you know what I mean? You're saying try to reduce the stress and get good sleep, but the symptoms are causing that. So that's another thing which is not easy to deal with. And then you've got medical care, which is probiotics and antidepressants and laxatives and stuff. I'm going to be honest, I've tried probiotics, laxatives, antidepressants. I wouldn't recommend any of these things. I would recommend exercise because that is one of the most important things, not just for IBS but for in general health. So definitely get your exercise in, staying hydrated. So having plenty of water, fluids, not fizzy, which I'm bad for. I'll be honest with you. Pardon me. I'm very bad for fizzy and junk, which doesn't help things. But yeah, that's something which I'm working on. Getting regular exercise, staying hydrated, diet definitely. Anything which triggers your IBS, unfortunately, however much you love it, you've got to take it out of your diet and eat those things which don't cause an upset stomach. Um, yeah, but other things I would recommend, naturally, I would say things like honey, that can help. Black seed oil, that helps. There's a new drink that this brother's made. I can't remember his name, but he was on BBC. He had, again, I think it's called Croynes or Cron. I can't remember exactly what it's called, how to pronounce it. But he come up with this drink called Fifth Ray. So if you type that into Google, that's a good drink to have. A lot of people have benefited from that. You've got Sunna supplements who do collagen, um, which a lot of people have benefited from. A lot of people from probiotics from, um, I think it's called, I can't remember the name of the place, but yeah, just general probiotics about them. Um, so yeah, that's a few things that I would recommend. Um, but yeah, moving on, I'd just like to say that this condition affects both the mind and body, which I know that from experience. Um, it's a complex condition, but obviously with the right tools, i.e., right guidance, it's manageable. Um, and if you or someone you know is living with IBS, just remember that it's not all in your head, and you're definitely not alone because a lot of people, more than you know, suffer from it. Might not be severe. Not everybody has severe IBS. Some people have mild form and they won't even know. They might just think it's normal until they actually go and get it diagnosed and, oh, well, you got IBS. Some people in the past, unfortunately, from what I've read from stories, has been told they had IBS. It's got worse and worse, and then eventually they've been told, well, you've got bowel cancer. So definitely, if you've got IBS, or um, if you're experiencing other symptoms, um, which are similar to IBS, I'd go and get it checked out because you never know. Um, with IBS, obviously, I would recommend you get it checked out all the time. So if you've been diagnosed once, then don't just think, yeah, well, I've got IBS, just leave it. If the symptoms are getting worse, things are not improving, keep going back to your GP, keep going back and trying to get more appointments and stuff and more investigation done. And if you're somebody who's never been diagnosed and you've got these sort of symptoms, then definitely go, because you never know. If it's not IBS, it could be something else. So yeah, you're definitely not alone if you do have IBS. But yeah, from personal experience, it's very difficult to deal with. But what I try to do is reduce stress, which is easier said than done. Not overthinking, taking things easy day by day. Try to take supplements and exercise and other things which help. But yeah, guys, I hope I haven't rambled on too much. I'm quite new to this YouTube thing, so but yeah. So if I've sort of paused anywhere or not made much sense, I'm sorry. I tried my best to sort of go through everything, talk about my own experience, and hopefully um, this video is something which people can sort of listen to and relate to and understand. Even if they haven't got IBS, understand people who have. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, and if you think there's ways I could improve this video, let me know. And if there's any other health related matters that you think I should do a video on, then let me know. And yeah, till the next one, take care, guys.